Thank you, Father Mario, for highlighting the Catholic Church's vital role in healthcare in Sindh. We truly appreciate your support and presence here today. We are delighted to announce that we have with us today Dr. Ehsan Kavi Siddiqui, the Chief Executive Officer, Sindh Healthcare Commission. Dr. Siddiqui has over 35 years of diverse experience in healthcare management. He holds postgraduate qualification in tuberculosis and chest diseases, along with a master's in public health management. Dr. Siddiqui has successfully led healthcare, government, and NGO projects, including roles in Aga Khan Hospital, UNICEF, and WHO. His expertise spans clinical governance, quality management, and epidemiology. A dedicated leader, Dr. Siddiqui is committed to continuous professional development and ethical performance standards in healthcare. May I now invite Dr. Siddiqui to the stage to share his thoughts with us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Siddiqui.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you for the introduction. I was taken aback by this introduction, but I think all praise for the event today where we all gather for achieving a milestone in the life history of this auspicious hospital, I would call. I have a special relationship which I will dwell upon later, but all the honorable guests today here, the board members, the fathers, the administration of the hospital, the medical faculty, the staff, and media, I would like to say a sincere thanks to you for coming for today's event. I emphasize media. Why? Because in the eyes of media, Healthcare Commission has got only one task, which is banning the quackery. But I think when media attend such program, they would realize that there is a very dedicated academic task which Sindh Healthcare Commission perform in awarding after properly assessing the performance of different healthcare establishments for their license. So that is very important. And I would urge the media to highlight this so that it will motivate other hospitals who are lagging behind and get motivated by this news that if a hospital get accredited or licensed by Sindh Healthcare Commission, the prestige of hospital will go up. So that is very important. I have a relationship. I did my matriculation from St. Bonaventures, Hyderabad, under Father J.B. Todd. He is my role model. My wife was born in this hospital. So I will not leave you. Okay, moving forward. I always emphasize one point, that yesterday you were not licensed. Today you will be licensed. So what will be the difference in the delivery of patient care service would happen now, which was not there before? There should be a tangible difference from today onward, because now you have to carry the weight of this license. I have been to different institutions, I have been part of their accreditation team, and I have seen that they receive that license, the license is pasted on the wall, the documents registers are there, but the practices remain same. So you have to work very hard to make sure that whatever you have achieved through this license is the journey of quality. Sindh Healthcare Commission has now pledged that they would never go and inspect a healthcare facility for the purpose of registration or licensing in a way which is threatening. they would always be like a partner. This is our policy now. By grace of Almighty Allah, we have converted our organization into a corporate. And the testimony of this corporate conversion is just being uttered here on this very stage. That my team members were acted as partner, as coach, as trainer, as facilitator, as motivator, so as to bring you on board, rather than coming and inspecting in a policing way. So that's for sure now. And today's partnership is a long journey, because now we have to share our grievances, our successes, our failures, our gaps with each other to overcome them jointly. That is very important. That's a very important message you all have to put in your heart, that Sindh Healthcare Commission will always be available for any type of guidance. But that can only happen when we start sharing data. Until unless we don't share data, it will not happen. Because then you will be living in your silos and we will be living in our silos. So we have to break these silos. We have to break these walls. That's very important. In the beginning, as I asked, that what will be the difference? So if I ask you people sitting in this hall, that are you a good organization? Are you a good healthcare facility? Are you a good hospital? What would be your answer? Obviously, everybody will say yes. The next question I will ask, please give me evidence that you are good. And that's it. If you have that evidence available with you, if you can provide the evidence that you are good, then you are good. Just saying you are good is not good. Quality has generally been remain the domain of 2 or 3 persons who are hired for the purpose. You all who are working from the management and administration know about it. The disconnect between the quality people and the faculty is very, very demoralizing at times. I'm not saying at your place. I'm just giving you a general example. That those 2 or 3 junior people cannot go and negotiate, cannot go and guide, cannot go and teach the senior faculty member of the stature of a professor, asking them to do something right. But please, this is an evolving world. Remember this. What I mean by evolving world. The healthcare delivery system about 30 years back is no more non-existent. It's a new era of awareness. The patients are more aware. There are more lawsuits now. There are more complaints now. In past, it don't used to happen, doesn't used to happen, but it's happening now. And I made you aware of one fact, statistics, that the 3rd leading cause of death is some problem in patient safety delivery of care, safe care. Now, a doctor is not responsible for that, maybe. A nurse may not be responsible. The system may collapse. So if it is the 3rd leading cause of death, each and every stakeholder in the healthcare delivery process should be responsible. Should be responsible. Because there can be any crack from where things can fall down. Your audit, you secure more than 95%, for example, in this audit, because you were lucky that the sample taken for your audit was where you were good. In a big hospital, there are always things which are invisible to the auditor, to the inspector. So audit is a continuous process which is called internal audit or internal evaluation. I can assure you, if you do 100 times this audit, all the time you will find gaps. The license doesn't mean that there will be no gap in future. The gaps will be there. But it will be your understanding and commitment to the process of continuous quality improvement by doing your internal audit on an ongoing way. Otherwise, it will just be stagnant. What do you mean by measurement? The continuous quality improvement is also only possible if you establish your KPIs. And those KPIs, I will not give you examples, it's up to you to decide about those KPIs. But because you are dealing majority with the maternal and child health, country where still we are dealing with the highest MMR and IMR. The highest. The maternal mortality and infant mortality is still highest in this country. And I can give you some data that the complaints which comes to us tells or signifies or corroborate this data, because 50% of our complaints, out of all complaints, are pertaining to maternity or pediatric care. And mostly ending in deaths, unfortunate deaths, avoidable deaths. I give you an example, just a food for thought, a real example. I will not name anything, but I will leave this question to you to decide who was at fault. A baby was born with a C-section, lower segment C-section. The doctor was qualified, competent, doing a surgery, take out the baby, give it to the ayah or midwife, whosoever was, to put her in the warmer. She put her in the warmer. And they continued with the process of closing the wound and everything. When they turned around, both the legs of the babies were burnt because the temperature was adequate in the warmer. Defaulted, faulty machine. And I'm just cutting the story short. That young girl has to get amputation of both the legs to make her life possible. So she was crippled. Now tell me, who was at fault? Who was at fault? That's called unsafe medical care. The doctor was not at fault. I may not be at the fault. But somebody being conscious of this happening, if put their hand and see what's the temperature, would just solve the problem. So sharing of information between hospital and reporting of incident rather than hiding them is very important. Because if you report an incident, it should not be taken as a punitive action against that person. The incident should be taken as a collective pool of scientific data which will indicate towards a deficiency so that you can overcome that deficiency. That's the importance of measuring yourself through indicators. Unplanned readmission after surgical procedure is a well-known indicator to be practiced in different hospitals. The basic reason is discharge summary is not proper. The patient was not educated what to do, what not to do when you reach home. So that's why within 48 hours, patient will come back to the hospital. Just start measuring it. And you would know about your fault or not fault. So that's how to improve your discharge summary. The most important thing is communication to the patient. Every patient is a different set of human being. One set of communication by a doctor cannot be understood by every patient equally. You have to customize your communication according to the patient language, patient education, patient race, patient religious belief, patient family background, patient demography. Every patient will be different. So your communication will only be complete when it is customized for that patient. It should not be according to the guidelines written in the books, which we generally follow. Please don't try to hide behind the guidelines. You are the person who is providing care. Don't treat disease, treat the patient. That's very important. One last important thing is the informed consent. I don't know why. Most of the litigations which comes to us and the doctors are in trouble just for one reason: lack of communication and improper informed consent. Because then it's their word against the complainant words. If they would have administer, I would say not taken, administer informed consent personally with the patient, informing her or him about the consequence of the procedure, of the consequences of not having the procedure, the risk with the procedure, and then leave them with the family to take a decision, especially in high-risk surgeries. And please record everything with signatures, identifiable, legible signature with names. 2 witnesses. Informed consent is not a paper. Informed consent is a legal document. If it is not fully filled, it is invalid. The practice in this country has been in the past that the patient is wheeled into the OR, given midazolam, informed consent. I can give you tens of examples, live examples in the last 1 year which has happened, and the one good informed consent could have saved the life of the doctor. But they failed to do it. So my message is that healthcare is a joint effort of all stakeholders sitting in this room, even the board. They have to be on board because they are the decision maker for any change. If they are not on board, nothing will happen. So even in healthcare delivery process, they are important. We are important. The doctors are most important. The nurses are more than doctors important. The pharmacist is important. The ward boy is important. The janitor is important. They all make a group who provide care to the patient. That is very important. So one more last thing. The volume is inversely proportional with quality for anything. This is simple mathematics. If I see 100 patients in a day, my communication will be lacking. If I see 15 patients a day, my communication will be good. Do you agree with this? So that is very important. I would like to congratulate the effort of your team, the effort of my team, your joint collaboration, the guidance from the church, the guidance from the board, the faculty involvement, nurses involvement. Thank you very much to keeping this flag high. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui, for your insight remarks and for taking time to join us today. Your words inspires us and reinforce the importance of your commitment to excellence in healthcare. We appreciate your support and guidance as we continue our journey. Now the movement we all have been eagerly anticipating has arrived, the conferring of our regular license. This is a significant milestone for all of us, and I can feel the excitement in the air. I would like to invite the Sindh Healthcare Commission, members of the governing board, administrator, and medical director to come to the stage for this special occasion.